Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about that Disney proxy battle from April. We're going to talk about Nelson Peltz. He sold all of his Disney shares. He made like $1 billion or something off of it. But we're going to talk about how the media is kind of running with like, oh, well, Nelson Peltz with his tail between his legs sold all his Disney stock. It's like, no, he actually made bank on it. But
yeah, who's the real loser here? The ones who got, made money, or the ones who held on and now lost a bunch?
Right. But we're going to talk about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is Nelson Peltz does not think Disney stock is going to ever be that high again, at least not in the near future. Right.
Yeah, so it's better just dump it than deal with it anymore. I give up trying to help you kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would seem like he's trying to wash his hands of the situation. He tried to bring in Jay Rizzullo. Of course, they tried for board seats. Didn't work out very well for him. And Disney, they got a couple of things. We'll talk about, the couple of things that look like they're positives for them, but I don't know how it's going to go.
Speaking of washing your hands, you might need to wash your hands after you use Marvel's new popcorn bucket.
Yeah, right. This is
so the new Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket came out, and I love it. I think it's hilarious. This looks like exactly what I would have expected. The commercial is even funnier.
Yeah,
I think it's great. Yeah, the butter. You skip ahead, like, oh look, it's going in your mouth. But then the butter, they put the butter across his face. Here, skip ahead a little bit. Wait, there you go.
Oh God.
I think it's funny. I think that Deadpool and Wolverine is probably going to be... I think it's going to do well. I don't think it's going to do $1 billion well. But only because it's rated R, and I think they also spent a lot on it.
Yeah, and it depends on how the movie is. I mean, I think it's going to be as good as can be expected given the current state of the MCU. Maybe it'll be better. I don't know. We'll talk about this.
And then Moana
2... is actually the upvotes are pretty good actually on YouTube. If you go out to the trailer, it's got 145,000 upvotes to only 12,000 downvotes, and so far it's number one on
comments. Was there comments? I don't
think there were comments on it because it's considered a kids thing, but it's number one on trending. And a lot of people said, now I saw some people on Twitter say it doesn't look as good as the original because it was designed to be a Disney Plus series, but it looks a hell of a lot better than the Megamind show that they put on Peacock,
I think given what I expected, it looks far better than what I expected. And I think it looks pretty good. Like, I think I think it looks really well done. I don't understand.
To me,
it's not Wish.
No. Yeah, it looks a hell of a lot better than Wish. Actually, Wish looked like it was designed for Disney Plus more so than Moana. So we'll talk about that because, I mean, these might be a couple of bright spots. An otherwise rocky year, I think, for Disney. I don't think that they're going to, come back to where they were pre-pandemic anytime soon. But it does seem to indicate that Mr. Peltz does not think that he's going to make a lot more money if he holds on to the stock. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to Indiegogo, pick up a copy of Shadowbinders Volume 3. You can also pick up a copy of Shadowbinders Volumes 1 and 2. We're going to reprint those books. They are hardcover graphic novels. This is the first new Shadowbinders material in quite a while, and we're going to continue the story as graphic novels because webcomics, you can't make any money off of webcomics. I'm just saying. So let's talk about this. Nelson Peltz reportedly sold off his Disney stock. So let's look at where the Disney stock actually is right now.
Okay, it's not too bad. It's $101. So it went up since yesterday because when I wrote the article yesterday, it was $100.88.
Yeah.
So, but... okay, we're going to look at what happened here. So if you go to the original article, which I got it from CNBC, there's a couple things here that I don't think is accurate. But go down. They're talking about how they sold his stock. And apparently he sold it, according to their sources, at about $120 a share. Okay? So he said he made about $1 billion in the position because he bought a lot of it when it was like the $70-some.
Right.
However, what they keep saying is that he just did it like weeks after. He sold his stock weeks after. He couldn't have sold his stock weeks after because the stock was only $120 around that range around the board meeting. Leading up to the meeting, it was $122, over $120, okay?
Yeah.
The day before the meeting. And then the media announced that, oh, look, it's probably going to be, they're going to lose.
Yep.
And then the stock dropped. And then it stayed around 117, 118 and change around that time for a few days before then it started bottoming out and going lower and lower. So he would have had to have sold it within a couple days of the meeting for him to have sold it at the price they're saying.
Yeah, I think he was like, as soon as he realized that he was not going to get elected, he dumped it, because I think look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think this was him like throwing a hissy fit, because this is.
That's what they keep spinning it as.
Yeah, this is apparently trying funds like all of their Disney stock he unloaded. I think he realized like this company is doomed. It's a sinking ship. This stock is not going to be worth anywhere near this $120 anytime soon. It's going to drop as soon as they make the announcement, or as soon as it sets in that Disney isn't going to course correct. So right now is the best time to sell it.
And they're like, well, he's a loser. It's like, well, he sold it $120 and made money, made $1 billion. I don't think he really lost. Yeah. Those of you who held on to it, we all held on to ours or whatever, and it's at 100 and it dropped down to $100. We lost,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, they said that.
This is me saying.
Oh, this is you saying that. Yeah, yes. They said CNBC said that he would have made about $1 billion from the stock.
Right, from selling it at $120.
Yeah. So I sold my Disney stock. I sold it for, I want to say it was around $175 a share. I waited too long because it hit like 200, right? Mm-hmm. And I bought most of my stock. It was under $100 when I bought it, and I sold it for like $175 a share. So we made okay money, and then some of that we used for some things that we needed to buy, and but if I held on to it, I would have not made nearly as much money.
People who held on to it are in the hole massively.
People who bought it at $150, $175 a share, and now they're like, crap, But yeah, I think what's going on is he's taking a look at things, just like I think, this is the same reason that the stock has dropped, is investors are looking at the Disney slate and they're looking at the theme parks and they're like, is this company gonna make a profit in the very near future? They're going to dig themselves out of the situation that they have themselves in. And, if Wolverine and Moana 2 are misfires, the answer is no.
Well, I don't think they're going to be. But
I don't think they're going to be. Those are the two.
But other ones I think might be. So.
I have more faith that Moana is going to do well than I do Inside Out 2 is going to do well. I think that Moana is a much more beloved movie than Inside Out 2. I think the trailer looked better than Inside Out 2's. And this is supposed to be a movie that was, originally just a Disney Plus series, but I can't argue with the fact that it's got a ridiculous amount of upvotes. Inside Out 2, I think people are kind of on the fence about. They want to wait and see. Now, this could be a huge turd. It could be like, we're just banking on the nostalgia of the first movie.
Well, the music isn't going to be the same because they don't have Lin-Manuel Miranda for this one.
Yeah, so this thing was kind of hastily put together because, they had to get the original voice actors back because they had other voice actors. They had sound-alikes doing the voices since it was going to be a Disney Plus show. And then they had to, get Dwayne Johnson. They weren't sure if they were going to get Dwayne Johnson back. But they don't have music by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And that was a huge, 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 huge part of the success of the first movie. And if the music is not that good, I don't know how it's going to go. Because, that was the big reason that people liked Encanto was the songs. They were like, the songs are TikTok fodder.
Pretty much, especially Encanto especially, but Moana too.
Moana
was really good too.
Frozen, the music has to be good. They have to have like the song, or it all falls apart. And I don't know if they're going to have that for this movie. So that's kind of a minus. But I think this one's going to do better than Wish, and I do think that. I
wonder how they're going to count the budget for that one, because it was made as a show, which would imply there's a lot of footage not using. So I wonder how they're going to determine what the budget was. Are they just going to count the entire show as the budget? Or are they going to kind of try to say, well, it's this percentage of that was and the rest is a write-off because we didn't use it, you know?
Well, I don't know, because I'm like, this seems to be like how Disney is juggling the books now. They're trying to spread the costs across multiple platforms. I think they did this with like Ms. Marvel. They were like, oh yeah, well, Ms. Marvel, yeah, we made it for Disney Plus, but we're also putting it on, ABC and Freeform. So, we'll just kind of spread that money around a little bit. Willow, we can't save that one. We're just going to write it off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pull it off the platform. I don't know how they're doing it, but we're never going to know. I mean, basically, it's going to be business as usual at Disney. Disney super fans, the ones that aren't completely fed up with the company, are still going to consume whatever comes out. But I think Disney is overall on a decline. I do not see them making a huge comeback because they need a shakeup at the top. It's clearly not going to happen. It's going to take 10 years for this company to turn things around, and what I'm seeing, I'm not that impressed with. Like, they had the Tiana's Bayou preview, and the animatronics look nice, but the music's kind of meh, and there's no Dr. Facilier. So
yeah, well, you're also biased because you really want to.
I want Dr. Facilier. I was like, I will give this ride a pass. Just if they send me to the other side at the end of the ride and I get to hear that song on the way up.
If the ride breaks down, they still could send you to the other side.
They could.
On the ride,
They could, yeah. But like that such a wasted opportunity. Like, you guys went from making rides like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, where you literally send people to hell. You send them to hell. It wasn't
that's just visiting the parks on certain days.
And now you're like, no, we can't put Dr. Facilier in this ride because, and don't tell me it's story reasons. They just didn't want a bad guy. So it looks like it's going to be this really happy, slappy.
Well, it's basically you're on a mission to find ingredients to make her food stuff, I think. And that's why they have this one section where it looks kind of like it came out of Navi River Journey.
Oh,
but
the
it's just
giant
like mushrooms and stuff. And it was like, yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, if you followed the movie and you had the music from the movie and you had Dr. Facilier, I'd be there for it. But this one, I'm kind of like, eh.
They did have some screens, I noticed, too. Like, they had some screens.
Well, that's going to happen.
But they did have a lot of animatronics.
They had a lot of it.
And the animatronics look good.
They do look good.
They look really good.
I am curious how, well, here's it. Look, let's be honest here. Diehard Disney fans get upset about changes in the parks, right? They do. But the average consumer that just goes to Disney World, it's still going to be Splash Mountain to them. It's just Splash Mountain with Tiana.
Is there a Splash Mountain? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
and
care.
for some people, it's all the above or no.
Yeah, it's true. And, we can argue about Norway and them changing it to Frozen, but like...
Oh, my sister's still mad about that. I know you were still mad about that, too.
Yeah, I like the
My
Trolls.
sister and I were just talking about that the other day. She goes, I'm still mad about Maelstrom.
It was so cheesy. I mean, it was such a cheesy ride.
But it was gloriously fun.
It was fun.
And you got to kind of go backwards a little bit, which was fun. They took that out.
Yeah, you go backwards, but you don't actually go out of the building, which I liked.
That's true. That's right. You do go backwards.
Yeah,
but you originally went like out.
That. Your ass end hung out of the building.
That's
like
true.
You're mooning the people in line. Like, look at me, I'm riding the ride. You got to wait in line. Well, back then you didn't have to wait in line for an hour to ride Maelstrom. It was like 15 minutes.
But Maelstrom was always great. Until they announced they're closing it. And then you had to wait 2 hours in line. Anyway, back to the point. So the popcorn bucket. Yeah, I think the popcorn bucket is hilarious. I think it would be more fun if they thought of it before they copied Dune 2 to do it. I think it could have got way worse than they went, but they had to still keep it reined in somewhat because it's Disney owned now. But it's very much what I think he would, Deadpool would do.
Yeah.
I think it's funny as hell, and I hope, and I think they're doing this too because they're not saying what theaters, unless they have, since I looked last, are going to be having the popcorn bucket. But when they say, oh, here's the theaters are going to have it, but ticket sales go up higher.
Oh, I'm sure.
People trying to get the popcorn bucket because it's just beautiful. He's wearing his mask too.
Yeah, he's wearing his mask. So I'm assuming he's going to wear the mask at some point in the movie.
I think so.
Because that would be a waste to have him in the yellow costume and then not wear the mask. But I can imagine people using this as a urinal. Like you could piss in it.
I mean, it's obviously too big for most people to have anything like the Dune bucket, But you could fist Wolverine just in a different kind of way.
Oh my God.
I actually put that in my article. I said, I can't wait to see the fisting jokes. Or something like that.
It's so oral.
Oh, like that has a tongue on it too.
Oh my God. Oh, that is the butter shot right there.
Yes.
That is a squirt of butter right in his face.
It's funny.
It's just dripping into his open mouth.
That's the point. It's beautiful. Anyway.
Dirty. Anyway, Nelson Peltz sold his stock, doesn't have a lot of hope. Popcorn bucket, dirty, drippy.
Yeah, Disney's banking on dripping butter to try to sell and
Moana.
quasi softcore porn buckets to bring you to the movies.
I don't think we're gonna get oral Maui popcorn buckets for Moana 2.
I hope not. So I really hope not. Are we wrapping this up?
Yeah, it went way longer than it needed to. There we go.
Sorry.
That's the video.
Or
We're gonna
am
wrap
I?
it up. We're wrapping this one up, right?
Yep.
Okay. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.